Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections at the Buffalo Naval Park. And you might remember the gentleman that is sitting beside me now. That is Nick Erickson from the Grout Museum District, Sullivan Brothers, Iowa Veterans Museum.
You
And
got it.
the full name, right?
Yeah. No,
Uh,
you got it. It's almost as difficult to remember as yours.
oh, well, thank you. Yes. Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Full name. This is a video that I think Nick and I have just said, you know what, we're rolling with this. We've talked about it for a long time, and just given life and work and stuff, we just haven't been really able to bring this to you. But this is a really uh, very interesting conversation I had with Nick probably in November, December of last year. And this is kind of the culmination of that. And we're actually still, Nick is sending me something so that I can upload it, but we wanted to go live. Oh, hey, Mark, how are you? Thanks for being here. And and it's a story of a gentleman named Robert B. Lack, something that he had from his time on the USS The Sullivans, an oral history, and a mystery as well. So, Nick, why don't you kind of pick it up from there and let's see what's going on?
Yeah, it was veteran. It was at our Veterans Day program last year, 2024, and this fellow, electrician's mate, third class, Robert Bielik. Yeah, I have that written down here. I was looking down here to my notes. Actually, this time I covered my desk in things so that I'm not slapping my desk over and over again like I was when we did our Iowa video.
Yeah, it's one of a habit of yours is just kind of, yep, I get
Basically
it.
unwatchable. Anyway, so Mr. Bielek came with his family all the way from Indiana and attended our Veterans Day event, and afterwards brought us an artifact that he took off of DD 537 during his time as crew member. He was aboard ship in the late 1950s, so 57 to 60, he says, and he brought us this guy right here. Shane, you have a better photo of this, I think, if you
Yeah,
want to put that on screen.
yeah, we could
If it
put that
works,
up there.
earlier when you were selecting images, it was sending not the image you'd clicked on. There we go. So it's solid bronze. It's pretty hefty. It's 8 inches across. Um, and he says he got it off the ship. So we asked him the circumstances under which he took it from the Sullivans while he was a crew member. And the file I'm transferring to Shane right now is an oral interview we conducted with Mr. Bielik immediately, right? As soon as he said he had this piece of property, we sat him down in the library and had him give us the gist of it. Actually, we called Shane while he was there
Hmm.
on the phone and informed him of this sort of like ongoing situation. And then we rushed Mr. Bielik upstairs to the office of one of our oral historians, Pat Kinney. And poor Pat, we just ambushed him and said, we have to do an interview with this man right now before he has to leave. So we got about an hour of oral interview with him, went over his whole service, a bunch of really interesting stories from his time in. Especially working under the chief electrician. Really interesting stuff there. Um, Shane, I got an email notification that the file was transferred to you successfully.
Yep,
So
yep. So I'm downloading it now, so everyone will be able to see snippets of that. Absolutely.
great.
Thank you.
So we have a few like bits of the video that we plan on showing you guys today. Sort of him explaining uh, the circumstances of it. And we'll begin with the beginning of the video where he introduces himself and introduces his time aboard the vessel. Um, and then the poor man, a matter of mere weeks after he visited us and we conducted this interview. He's passed on. So he was here on Veterans Day and he passed away in December. So all we have to work with now, because there is a bit of a mystery, we can't quite work out where this plaque was on the ship. It's proving difficult. And we very unfortunately can't go back and ask him any more questions. So all we have is this interview that was thrown together really fast with no prep. And we thought it would be a good idea to present it to you folks here on the greater internet to see if we could present our evidence and get some more feedback, huh?
Yes. So that video is downloading now. Then I'm downloading it onto the computer, then uploading it into the system. We
Great.
do have a lot of photographs. We do have some other film. And the mystery is, how did he secure it? Where did he secure it from on the ship? Because there is a little story with that you'll hear. And trying to locate this on board the Sullivans. And so,
and it's not
kind of like thrown together. Yeah. Kind of.
The man was working off of memories from 1958 or 59. And as a pretty good example, there's a part where Pat, the fellow interviewing him, he and then myself get a little confused about which plaque we're talking about while we're interviewing him. But we'll work you guys through that part. That's largely my fault for not preparing Pat before we began the. Well, it's all my fault for not preparing Pat before we began that. No, it's not Pat's fault. He starts. We mention a plaque. Pat naturally, because he's familiar, he's been to Buffalo as well. He thinks it's the plaque that's on the O1 level, so he brings that up. But then Bielik says that he went to the Sullivans in Buffalo, didn't see the plaque, which he thinks is supposed to be on the quarterdeck. But again, we're not talking about this. I refer to it. We're talking about that one. Yeah, that one right there. And so that gets in the way at one point.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for the, and this plaque is known to be on board the Sullivans during this time. There's some photographs of it, during the 1957, 1958. And this is a space where the Mount 53 was, and then that gets removed in 1954, and they mount it right to the Mark 56 gun director where that mount was. Was it on board in World War II when she came into service, and in September of 43 through July of 45 when they were back in America after World War II? I have not seen photographic evidence of it, but there's certainly photographic evidence of it in the Cold War at this time period, in that space where the Mark 50, where the Mount 53 was.
Why did they paint it blue?
That is a great question that I don't know if I have the answer to.
Because in some of the older photos, it's clearly bright. And Bielik talks about it being bright on
just kind of a solid brass.
Yeah.
It is in this photograph. I don't have a zoom in there, but if you look right near the aft superstructure, on the forward end of the superstructure on the O1 level, it would be right there. And then I showed, a photo of it today, right? Literally today.
Yep.
Let me see how this interview is doing. Okay, good. Let me upload. So have you had any contact with the Bielik family since his passing?
Not more than they emailed us to inform us of his passing. We
It's
exchanged a
Veterans
couple
Day.
of
No,
condolence
Splitting up.
emails, and that's been it so far. I'll definitely let them know that this video is going up and share with them our discussion.
Okay, that's great. So it uploaded and it automatically started playing. So
I saw that.
sorry for that. Sorry for that for everybody. But you want to just you want me to just roll with it?
Yeah, just start at the very beginning. I've got the cuts that you requested here back when we thought I was going to be sharing it from my screen.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Go ahead. We're supposed to watch the first 4 minutes.
Okay. All right, everyone. So this is Robert Belak, who served aboard the Sullivans. I have not met him, but since he was from Indiana, he went to Veterans Day at the Grout Museum District, and here is that put together oral history.
before we're here with USS The Sullivans, Cold War veteran Robert Belak. Robert, can you say and spell your name for the recording, please?
Bielak, Bielak. Robert F.
Where were you born, Robert?
I was born in East Chicago, 11/12/1939.
So you have a birthday tomorrow.
It's a birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I think I might have a scotch.
Talk about your upbringing, where you went to school and when you decided to get in the Navy.
Well, I was in high school, and my mom and dad were splitting up, and the judge asked me who I wanted to go with, and I says, I'll be 17 tomorrow. Mom signed the papers, because she had to sign when because I'm 17. So she signed the papers. I went up to Chicago for my physical, and when I got on the Great Lakes, took a seaplane to Rhode Island. That's the worst flight I've ever been on. I'll tell you what, that thing, oh my God, it was terrible.
Pretty small plane.
Small plane, rattle, oh my God, you thought it was coming apart. Anyway, when I landed,
Oh,
oh yeah, everybody was thrown all over the place. Anyway, got to Rhode Island, got aboard the Sullivans.
no.
So I want to pause it there, Nick. So he's kind of giving his background. He was born in Chicago, and he didn't know that he was going to the Sullivans, did he?
No, not from what he said.
Okay, interesting. Let's.
Yeah, in fact, he's about to say that. Actually, I'm reading
Oh.
my transcript here.
Oh, gotcha. You're following along the transcript. Okay.
He was doctor at that time.
She was a doctor at that time. So, since then, I spent 4 years on her.
When did you know you were going on the Sullivans?
I didn't know
Oh,
until
so you got there.
I got there.
Wow.
Yeah, just I didn't even look at my papers really until I got to the board ship. It says Sullivans.
This is after boot camp.
Yeah, it's after boot camp.
Yeah.
But the Sullivans, the McGowan, and there was another one. There was 3 ships that went together.
All destroyers, or?
All destroyers, all Fletcher class. But,
Did you know anything about the Sullivans, about the story or anything?
I seen the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
When did you see that?
Oh, I seen that one when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And, but anyway,
So, Nick, that's the movie, The Fighting Sullivans, that came out in 1944, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
So that movie is still pervading through society in 1956 or early 1957 or mid 1957, right?
Yeah, it had a re-release around that time, didn't it? I'm afraid I don't remember quite the year, but there was. I have some lobby cards from it. It got a big nationwide re-release like 10 years
Really?
after its original release or
Oh,
something like that. I shouldn't
that's
be.
excellent. I didn't know that at all. So that then makes sense if they re-released it in movie theaters. And
Yeah, I need to see it in high school. Yeah, absolutely.
great, thank you. Let's carry on.
Well, actually, that was the end of your first cut that you
Okay.
sent me in the, and I assumed I would be able to see the timestamps at the bottom of the video, but I can't, which is why I have the transcript out.
Good,
So
because I can't see the timestamps either.
okay, all
Such
right.
is life, everybody. Such is life. Just
Well,
like, go ahead.
the next story the next part you wanted to play was 6 minutes and 37 seconds in. I don't know how you're going to find that, but that's a story about him and another guy getting soused in one of the gun mounts on cognac that they got
Oh, yes.
in Spain.
Yes. So 6 minutes and 55 seconds.
37 seconds.
6 minutes and 37 seconds. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, I might have the timestamp. 6:14.
Oh my God! I tell you what, that
Yeah.
stuff that makes your toes curl. It was you only needed about a half a shot, man. It was it was strong,
Oh, God.
but he was used to that moonshine.
Just threw it back, huh?
Okay, so this is a little segment that Nick and I were talking about, everyone, that he tells a story of how they were on Liberty and they brought some moonshine on board and went into Mount 51.
Well, right now he's talking about his friend Charlie Gitch from Kentucky who smuggled moonshine aboard. But I think they're going to go to they're going to get some Liberty in Barcelona and they're going to buy a bunch of cognac.
Yes.
And yeah, that's a good story. So I think if you
Okay.
will,
Let's roll with that.
Oh yeah. I gotta tell you this. Charlie and I, we were in Barcelona, Spain. And we went on Liberty. And went in the town, there's a liquor store. And they got these little houses. Like that. About like that. And the chimneys had the cork in them. Cognac. Well, I bought 8.
Uh-huh.
Charlie bought 8. We're going to take them back to the ship and take them home for Christmas presents. Well, we went out to sea for about 2 months, and Charlie didn't get no packages. So he said, "Hey, let's try that cognac. Maybe it's no good." Anyway, we went into that first gun mount. Him and I sitting there. He drank his bottle and I drank mine. We emptied it. Next morning, roll call, they were looking for us. When they found us, neither one of us could get out of that gun mount. I spent 2 weeks cleaning villages, all that oil. Have you ever been aboard ship and been down the villages? Okay, you know what it's like. I had that shit. It's all over me. Him and I, we said, we'll never do this again, will we?
That is pretty great. That kind of prompts me to want to paint on little cognac houses with the cork in the chimney on Mount 51 now that I hear that, because this is the I've read the transcript, everybody. This is the first time I'm actually seeing the video of it, so it adds life rather than just words on a page.
I'm so jealous of because we have a museum here and it's a purpose-built building that you fill with things. But I'm so jealous of like historic homes or museum ships where you have the built environment is part of the collection, and you can link spaces to stories right there. You know, and so you have Mount 51 right there has that whole. I mean, you can walk up to Mount 51 and imagine those two guys passed out, missing roll in the morning, and then unable to extricate themselves. It's a fantastic story.
Yeah, it really is a fantastic story. I'm glad we included it. And yes, being down in the bilges of the Sullivans is no fun. And know they're young. They're well, 18 or 19 at the time, maybe. And
Yeah, depending
yeah,
on when that happened, he joined the Navy at 17. So
yeah. And then he joined after that terrible plane ride. All right. So what's the next timestamp for this gentleman, for Robert?
let's see here now. I put a did I put a break in here? Uh, I did. Yeah. And, yeah. So he spends 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll just give you guys the gist of how that story concludes. He spends 2 weeks cleaning bilges, and then the captain seizes the remaining 14 bottles of cognac from the two men, stores them in his cabin, and the next time they're stateside on leave, returns them all to them. So they actually do get to take them home and give them to their families as Christmas presents.
Very nice. Very nice. Minus the two that they drank. Yes.
That's
8
right.
and 8. Yeah. One of the questions from Frank is like 8? They each bought 8? Well, yes, there it is. And then they were each able to deliver 7. I guess. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that summary there.
Our next timestamp is going to be let's go to 29 minutes and 31 seconds.
Okay.
Obviously, all these, he's got to finish up his last story, and then there's the intro to the next story, right? But so there'll be a little bit about, I think it's in Italy or something, and talking about how everybody's riding scooters. But we'll soon get right into the plaque here after a couple of seconds.
29 minutes and what? Seconds?
31.
31. Thank you. All right, everyone. Here we go.
But it's just over here you got automobiles, but nothing like that over there, man. Just scooters.
How'd you feel about serving on the Sullivans, having seen the movie as a kid? Did you think about that, Robert?
No, I said someday I would take a trip to Waterloo. And then when I got that plaque, I've been wanting to go ask him some here a long time ago. But I don't drive anymore.
Yeah.
I have no feeling. It just...
Talk about that plaque. How did you come across that?
I was going to lunch. And I come out of the hatch. You got to zip fast to the next hatch because the waves were coming over the starboard side. And there's this plaque. And it was loose.
Big heavy brass plaque with a ship's crest, right?
The brass
Positive.
plaque. This.
Did you ask me to pause it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
All right. So right now he's describing the plaque that's loose is the that bronze roundel that prompted this video. But I forgot to prep Pat about the roundel when we started the interview. So Bielik says, and there's this plaque, and it was loose, and he points to the floor. And then Pat says, big heavy brass plaque with the ship's crest, right? Because Pat is, of course, thinking about the plaque on the 01 level. And then we spend some time sorting that out. And then we get back to the roundel eventually. So, all right, go ahead.
Okay.
About bigger than that. Okay? But right there. See that thing right there?
Mm-hmm.
big as that.
Like that.
And no, just
Yeah.
had all their names on them.
You're talking about a brass plaque that had the names of the
Yeah.
players, not the bronze roundel that you're
No,
donating to the
no.
museum right now.
No,
I understand.
the plaque. I expected to see that when I went to see the Sullivans.
Where did you expect it to be located when you visited the ship in Buffalo?
On the quarter deck.
Okay.
They used to shine that thing up. And bosun's mates, they'd be buffing that thing, and it shined.
So, Nick, do you think that he is still conflating the big plaque that we have now with the roundel? Like
He's
when he's
not.
saying they're buffing it up?
No, that's not his fault. He's talking about the big plaque because Pat brought up the big plaque because I didn't tell Pat about the roundel before we did the interview. And so now because we changed the subject, he's talking about the big plaque now. And he's talking about how he expected to see it on the quarterdeck when he visited the Sullivans in Buffalo. And he missed it because it's a 60-year-old memory. He's not remembering that it's on the 01 level. He's remembering it on the quarterdeck. And so that's what he's talking about right there.
Which is funny because that's how funny how memory goes. It's literally right above the quarterdeck.
Yeah.
So it's in the same general vicinity in terms of a vertical dimension. But he's just misplacing it from the main deck from the 01 to the main deck.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's five of us.
And now we're talking about the rondels again. And he's looking around the room for it because I didn't bring it up to the interview.
Yes. Okay, so now he's back to the roundel which you showed in just live, and then I have the picture of.
Right. Yeah. And quietly, I'm asking him right now during the interview if I can run down to my office and grab it.
Yes.
And bring it back up to where the interview's happening.
Yes.
Okay. This was all very sudden, this whole thing, and none of it was planned out. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
We've done that before, like now. Okay.
Exactly, right? And
yes.
so I don't know if you want to back up a few seconds, but he was talking about how there were 5 of these roundels. And he's sort of going with his hands and making a circle with his hands and demonstrating that there were 5 of them on a bulkhead in a row, one for each brother. It's curious that the individual roundels don't have the brother's name on them. It's just ship's crest, right? Repeated 5 times apparently. So that's pretty interesting. I see that Cece asked a question about how the plaque was mounted to the bulkhead, and we'll get to I'll answer that question now. So Mr. Bielik is going to eventually explain that it was brazed to the bulkhead, maybe at 3 points on the posterior facing of each roundel, presumably at the outer circumference of the circle. Those points aren't really visible anymore because he's filed it all flat, because when he got it home, he stored it on top of his dresser and he didn't want the broken mounting points to scratch up his dresser. So the back is flat now. I'll show it to you here.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of when I was walking around, there might not be any evidence of the 3 brackets or so that it would have been mounted to.
Especially if it was on an exterior bulkhead, right? Followed by years of chipping and painting.
Yeah, so it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, somewhere around the outer circumference, there were just, I'm making this up,
right,
but like maybe 3 or 4 points where it was just brazed onto the bulkhead.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question, Cece. Thank you. So I did go back a few seconds so we can continue on with, and
Yeah.
then just let it play through.
Yeah.
And bosun's mates, they'd be buffing that thing, and it shined. It just, but there's five of those bronze.
It's in my office. Would you like me to bring it back up here?
Yeah, I'd like to see if he had show it to him. There's five of them. That one was loose. 'Cause that starboard, that wave came across there, and that thing was just doing this. And the ship has got a lip, and every so often that lip is cut out so the water could drain.
Yeah,
So I grabbed that thing
before I went over the side.
before it went over the side, and I took it to my locker.
How heavy is it?
He's coming with it.
Yeah, okay,
It's heavy.
yeah.
It's heavy. It.
But you stuck it in your locker and just kind of kept it there then?
Kept it there till I came home on leave. And Charlie Gish says, "What are you going to do with that?" I says, "I'm going to take it home."
Yeah. So were you supposed to put it back?
I got it home, and my brother says, "What's the matter? You crazy? You could get arrested for that. That's military property." I says, "Possession is 9 points of the law."
No, it could have washed over the side if you hadn't have grabbed
Here,
it.
come here.
Yeah, no, that's our run video. I'll get it
Oh.
later. Yeah.
Told them when they came up here that the FBI's gonna be waiting for them to take and put them in cuffs.
So what we're hearing here is, again, we've passed the flub dub of the large plaque that we still have today that's on the O1 level. He's stating that there are 5 of these roundels mounted. He was going to the mess deck for lunch, or am even I conflating these stories?
No, you got it. You got it. It's lunchtime. He's got to get to the galley,
Yeah.
the middle of the superstructure. So if he's forward, and that's correct, as I understand it, on a Fletcher, if you're forward or aft, there's no way you can get to the galley without passing over the open main deck, right? Because if you're forward, you have to go through the breezeway, and if you're aft, you have to pass over the that midship passageway that happens to be the quarterdeck on the Sullivans.
Yeah, there's the quarter deck in the middle of that has the deck house, the forward deck house, and then the aft deck house. You walk forward, you're on the main deck, you go through a port side door, which will lead you down 2 levels to where the steam line is, and then into the mess deck. And I've got some photos of that, and I actually did a video as well, a short video kind of showing that. So it seems as though, everyone, the mystery is the way you enter is on port, but he's saying he was on starboard, and this roundel separates from a bulkhead and maybe goes into either the weather break, which I have a photo of, or the scuppers, and it's about ready to go over the side, and he grabs it and then goes to his locker, his foot locker, probably puts it in there, and then maybe proceeds on to lunch. I do have a picture of the quarterdeck, a couple of photos of the quarterdeck around this time to see if they would have been mounted on the quarterdeck, and I'm not seeing much evidence. We can show those now. Let's see, add to stage.
And the first time, while you're looking for those, I'll just talk about this a little bit. The first time he mentioned that, the ship has a lip, and every so often that lip is cut out so that the water can drain. I first assumed that he was talking about the weather break, because those are cutouts down
Yes.
the deck, right? But then you sent me some pictures of the scuppers, and it's clear that it could be anywhere then, right? Because I thought, oh, bingo, it's up forward by the weather break, by the
Yes.
breezeway. But no, so it probably talking about the quarterdeck then.
Well, here's those two photos of the quarterdeck. This was from a collection of a gentleman named Peters, and he was on board from 57 to 59. So it seems as though with Robert, they may have been ship's company together.
Yeah.
And this one is, I think, from 1958 as well. Now, that what is interesting is we do see photographic evidence of this wooden plaque right to the right of the gentleman John Appel with his parents, and there is a plaque with maybe a roundel in it in the larger shamrock. That would have been a decorative piece that would have been put out again when you have family visiting or you pull into port, as we kind of see here. So that may have been a decorative piece to welcome family and friends or visitors to the ship if they're on a goodwill tour. And so that is interesting. I should zoom in there a little bit more at a later date to check that to see if that could be something. But we're talking about weather breaks. Ours have been cut. So let me go to the Kid. Everyone, I was down at the Kid in March. There's a nice photograph of the weather break here from one of their videos. And you can see that it's solid. When you shut the door, it's breaking the weather, right? So you shut this door right in the middle here, that becomes a solid bulkhead without much weather incursion when you're standing behind it. Ours are cut, so it doesn't even look like you don't even see the combing or anything like that. But that's what the weather break would have looked like in World War II. For the scuppers, so
to be clear, before you navigate away from this image,
go ahead. Yes.
When he said the lip on the deck is cut out, I guess I would direct your gaze down to the lower right of this photo to those cutouts that are to let the sea out, right?
Yes. Yeah, from Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's what I first imagined when he said that. But if your instincts are not that it was this area, then that's good enough for me.
And down below that little break there is the scuppers, which you can kind of see here. And this is where the water would flow out. And that's why I kind of took these photos, because he says then there's breaks where the water can leave the vessel. And that's why I was kind of showing these. All of the Fletchers have these. And so that's where I kind of imagined it when I first read the transcript. This is kind of where I was thinking that he was talking about, that I went over this lip where the scuppers are. You can actually see a photo. I took a close-up again of that Peters collection and guys are sleeping on the deck, but I zoomed in so you can see a pair of shoes, and then kind of that break in the lip. So again, that's why it's kind of a mystery here to where he's meaning. Should we go back to the film?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me bring it back up.
Don't laugh. That could still happen.
So did you stuff it in your duffel bag, or where did you put it when you brought it back home?
Duffel bag.
Duffel bag had to be a little heavy then, wasn't
It
it?
is heavy.
Yeah.
I got it home.
Yeah. Nobody asked why if it was
And I
missing.
got in that duffel bag when I came home, Pall Mall and Lucky Strikes was 90 cents a carton. What are you paying for cigarettes now? Oh, you don't know?
About 90 cents a carton.
No. No. Anyway, 90 cents a carton. I told the guy down in the mail thing, get me a case of Pall Mall and a case of Lucky Strikes. I'm going to take them home for Christmas presents. So in the bottom of that duffel bag was this thing, and then was covered up with tobacco. And I had a duffel bag full of tobacco. I brought them home.
So you had it packed pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably still smells like
And I got, I got off the ship. We were in Norfolk, Virginia. And I got to leave. So I had all them cigarettes and this thing. And I left Norfolk. And my dad's from Clarksburg, West
That's probably the
Virginia.
end of this section here.
Okay. All right.
The rest is he talks about how he hitchhikes home to his dad's place,
Right.
and every time a truck stops to pick him up, they pick up his duffel bag and they say, "Oh, what you got in here?" You know.
Yeah. Oh, just 20 packs of smokes, right? Or 20 cartons of smokes. So I do have a video, a short video of a breezeway. We had thought maybe these roundels were mounted in a breezeway because they're right next to the hatch that leads you down. So on a Fletcher, right, mess deck is on the second platform, and you go down this hatch on port, you get into the steam line, and I have a picture of, from this time period, of a section of the mess deck. Then you head to starboard, you go to the scullery, you drop off your silverware and your tray, and then you exit back to the main deck on starboard. So maybe he had already eaten lunch and stuff like that, but I'll show these in the video here that I have. Let's see. Okay. So it's pretty short. So here you can see is the hatch, the door that leads down to the mess deck. You can see our weather break right here. That's been cut when we became a museum ship. But I'll walk through the breezeway to starboard. And I have the sound off because there were people here today, and obviously we're open and things like that.
Yeah.
So. And of course, we're getting ready for dry dock, and we have a temporary transformer there and things like that. So you're walking through the breezeway, covered area. This is the forward area, right? And then this has the hatch and the door where you would come out. Right here on the left-hand side, you would come out from the steam line, and then carry on with the rest of the day, I guess, until the next meal. I also have a video of the quarterdeck. All right, just to kind of show that maybe is there a space on the quarterdeck, and there's not a lot of space on the quarterdeck for something like this. For 5 of these.
The breezeway's got enough empty bulkhead for 5 of these, but then
It
why would you put it in the breezeway? It's not like I mean, they're plaques, for God's sake, right? You want people to see them, right?
Right. And I can go back to that. I can go back to the breezeway video, but you'll see, and this was even cut, right? I did a video with Lucas recently, so for YouTube fans, if you watch that, we do some of the architecture of the quarterdeck. There's just not a lot of space for this, so I'll go back to the so yeah, look at that. A lot of space right along here around the forward bulkhead here, but why would they be buried like that?
And if you're passing through the breezeway in heavy seas, you wouldn't notice a little, well, I say relatively small brass or bronze roundel heading for the scuppers, would you? If you're just passing through that,
Right.
I don't. That's beyond. That's speculation beyond speculation. Like, it's more difficult, at least, to notice something like that. Whereas if you're coming through the quarterdeck, you'd see it.
That's right. And if it's that foul weather and you've got waves coming over the weather break and over, yeah, you're just, and he said, I want to get from hatch to hatch, from door to door, as quick as possible because, it could be kind of treacherous out there, especially if you don't have that internal lifeline setup that you have going on.
And anything coming over the breezeway is going to be a lot of water, right? So again, you're not going to see this on the deck making its way towards the edge. I'm reminded of that scene in The Last Crusade when the Cross of Coronado is I don't know. If you've not seen The Last Crusade, it's a bad reference, and we should have talked about it before I made that.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but so it looks like with Robert, his memory is he's joined the chow line. Back then, if for eating lunch and dinner and breakfast, the chow line would come up the ladder out onto the main deck, and the crew's all standing there, maybe 100 guys at the time. If you're breaking up into 33, a 31 third for the crew, that could be about 100 guys. At this time, maybe it would be about 60 or 70 guys. Because you might get away with in the Cold War period, instead of having 310 like you would in full wartime complement in World War II, you might have 160, 180 guys on board. So you might have 60 guys in front of you. You head down, you eat, you come out. I was going to show a little bit of the mess deck again from this time period.
Great pictures. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is he's basically at the center line looking forward and a little bit to the right. So forward of this is more berthing where you see the dog door. So you're looking at the right forward corner. And yes, you can see berthing there as well. They would have had berthing either as spillover berthing. If they had guests or dignitaries, guests on board, you could have spillover berthing. Or, some guys berthed here, they would have to lift up their pipe racks like you see here in the morning. And then I love the TV too. I never knew there was a TV on board until I saw this photo, or at least where one would have been placed and the model and stuff like that. So we've got this mystery. We've got one of the 4 plaques that has been donated graciously by Robert before his passing to the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum. And then Nick and I immediately worked together to try and figure out where Robert is talking, but it's still a mystery.
He gives a few more details about the plaque between minute 39 and 42. Do you want to
minute 39 and 42, so very early on in the
Okay, if you're
early on? No, it'd be 39 minutes and 22 seconds in, if you could find that.
Got it. Okay, yep, 39:22. 39:21.
I'll tell you what, though. When it was out to sea, a lot of creeks. Oh, my God. A lot of creeks, man. That ship just, I think that's why this got loose.
Because of the turbulence?
Turbulence, yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
attached to the bulkhead?
I grow. There's a couple little spots I took them off because I had it on top of my dresser and I didn't want to scratch it.
So it was brazed at a couple of points?
Yeah, just
and
a
you-
couple little spots. On there. On there. Just.
Yeah, I mean, look at the even just the reverence of him looking at it now. You know, at that time on November 11th of last year, and his cap, his cover, and you can see that he's wearing underneath the Chicago Bears. You can see that he's wearing a Sullivan's. Do we know about Robert's other service? Did he disembark and embark on another vessel, or?
It's been a long time since I've watched the interview, and I only made a transcript of the parts that I deemed relevant for the purposes of this discussion. So
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't recall.
Okay. But we can tell that he's not wearing the emblems of other ships, right? So
Well,
obviously,
you might not if you were on his quest, you know, to bring the plaque to Waterloo. But no, you're right.
yeah. So you can tell that meant a lot to him, and it's unfortunate that he's passed on in just a month or so after the video. But
You're a kind man, so open and I don't know, amicable, truly.
yeah. So for everyone, we are going to be continuing to try to dissect this. Nick has been in contact very little with his family, and maybe we can continue to go down that road, or maybe we'll have an epiphany, or if you have a comment or a thought where a roundel could have been mounted, it seems as though it would have been a permanent mounting, as opposed to a ceremonial one like we saw that wood shamrock that would have been brought out during goodwill tours and family tiger cruises and things like that. So if you have any thoughts would love to hear your ideas. I know our fans have a lot of knowledge and a lot of ideas of things maybe Nick and I are not thinking of. So what is the plan for the plaque, Nick?
Well, we'll exhibit the thing. We had some setbacks this year that sort of put it on the back burner for a second, but I'll get it out on exhibit here, maybe in the next month or so, and then hopefully transfer it to. I'll put it in our recent acquisition spaces first,
Yes.
right? And then when it's finished there, we'll find a place for it in the permanent exhibits. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so that shouldn't be hard. And then we'll need to have a longer term discussion about where this thing winds up permanently. Like right now, the plan is to keep it here. But if we can find a spot on the vessel where it's supposed to go, I think it would make a fine welcome home present when you come back from dry dock or something, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Yes, I can heartily agree with that. Yes, at least if when we have discussions, does it belong in Waterloo with where the family's from? Does it belong out with the ship? He brought it to you, so that the donor choice is that it remain with you. But maybe what we can do is have it have 5 fabricated. And we're bringing back our Sullivan's memorial compartment and maybe placing all 5 in the officer's wardroom would be something that would greatly interest me as well, and other people here too.
I asked Mr. Bielik specifically when he brought it by about whether or not he wanted to weigh in on the long-term disposition of the plaque, and he said, it was always his goal to get it to Waterloo, but ultimately, he said if it winds up in Buffalo, he's fine with that as well. So, and I made sure to get that in writing from him. So,
excellent, very good, very good.
Of course, naturally, we would prefer to have it on exhibit here, but it does seem to me that if we can nail down where it's supposed to be, it ought to it probably ought to go. You know what? I'm on camera. Ultimate disposition is going to be up to the board and the collection donation committee at the Grout Museum District. Uh, these are all my opinions.
Well done.
Okay, good.
Your opinions are your own. They do not reflect the board
Yeah.
or the Grout Museum District Administration. Yes.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Well, again, we could solve it both by fabricating it, having it, maybe even I'd have to do a little more research, but maybe 3D printed or something like that. And then we can print them out. You can have the original and we can have the fabricated copies. And then we're satisfying both stories, right? Continuing for you guys to tell the story of the Sullivans and along with your wonderful archives that we've discussed in the past of the family itself. And then also here at the historic home of DD 537, the historic home that floats. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll continue to work on this behind the scenes, everyone. And then when there is resolution that meets both organizations, then we will bring you that information as well. Nick, what else do you have to add? What's coming up for those that are in the Midwest or want to visit the Grout Museum District and the Sullivan Brothers Veterans Museum, Iowa Veterans Museum? What's going on with you guys this year and into next year?
The city of Waterloo was last year designated Iowa's American World War II Heritage City. That's a National Park Service designation. So I think your state is Yonkers.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you for that. Interesting.
So every state gets one, and it is it's an honorific. It doesn't come with like money or anything.
Of course, right?
Yet, right? It was sort of a very like quiet thing that the NPS rolled out, and then I think it's becoming a bigger deal as more cities are selected, and some cities have put on pretty big celebrations in honor of their designation, and so it's gained some traction in the public consciousness as a result of that. And we are going to commemorate our designation in a citywide event on Saturday, September 6th. So that's to coincide with the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. So the museum here is partnering with the city of Waterloo, the city committee that's responsible for getting Waterloo the World War II American Heritage City designation, and Veterans Memorial Hall, which is really interesting. It's owned by the city now, but it's down by the river. I'm pointing like people on the internet know. But down by the Cedar River in the middle of Waterloo is it's called Waterloo Veterans Memorial Hall, and it's a largely unaltered Spanish War veteran GAR combined post. It was built in 1915, and it looks the same on the inside. And it's great. And there's a small staff of old timers who volunteer to keep it running. And so during the course of the day on September 6th, there's going to be educational programs about the Second World War here and over there. We'll have reenactors over there. Lego History Sam is going to be our CB. So he's doing a great job. He's been traveling all over the country doing reenacting and stuff recently, as well as at yours.
Yep.
And he was at, where was he this weekend? Someplace cool. He sent me a bunch of pictures.
Connaught, Ohio for the D-Day?
I don't think he was there.
Okay.
Not this weekend. He was at some airfield with a bunch of warbirds.
Gotcha.
Well. And let's see. We're still working on our Battleship Iowa exhibit. We're looking at fake teak for floors and putting together some more We've got deck vents and portholes and stuff that we're gathering, and we are our timeline is getting stretched. We lost some, lost some funding recently, as most museums around the country have, and our continued funding is sort of in danger right now. So that project is moving on at a little slower pace than we had initially envisioned, but it's coming right along. I'm working on trying to figure out the size and appearance of powder bags for 12-inch 35 and 8-inch 35, Zurich A1898, and that is proving very difficult.
Okay, so if you're watching this, right, this is for BB4, is it BB4?
That's right.
Okay, powder bags for the 12-inch.
12-inch 35 and 8-inch 35.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at dimensions and overall appearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we know the weight of powder per bag. We know how many bags per charge per gun. We know they're made of raw silk. They have a black powder primer, right? Brown powder charge. I don't know how long each bag is. I don't know how wide each bag is, and I don't know what they look like, right? Do they lace up the side like everybody's 16-inch 50 powder bags that they have in all their museum exhibits, or are they tensioned with like twill tape wrapped around them this and that way, like I've seen in some pictures from the First World War, right? And I would love to make some reproductions of those.
Yeah.
As soon as we can figure out how they look.
Yeah.
Feelers.
Thank you.
I've sent out some emails to a few naval historians, but it's proving to be sort of a difficult task. That period is those documents are out there. They're just hard to find.
I wonder if there would be any information in the Proceedings magazine from the U.S. Naval Institute. They were publishing monthly magazines back then, as they are today, and you'd have to wonder. Now, our collection doesn't go back that far, but if you'd want me to do a little research, all of the collections are digitized. You just have to be a member of USNI, which I am. So if you'd like, I could maybe log on and search articles from that time period around the time the battleship was being constructed, or ordnance at that time, and maybe there's a drawing of one or something in those early Proceedings magazines.
I'd love that. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you have more information, you can send me an email if you have more information of what you're looking for, some of the terminology that maybe was used at the time, and I'll search around the Proceedings magazines because the whole thing is online.
Yeah, and you find that kind of information in the strangest places sometimes. We were looking for what color are we supposed to paint the projectiles, right, as of like 1900 or something, right? And we looked everywhere and we couldn't figure it out. And I emailed. He's not with the Cruiser Olympia anymore, but Greg Williams was with Cruiser Olympia, and I emailed him and I asked him if he knew. And he knew the answer. And where it is it's in the Q&A section at the back of the 1902 Blue Jackets manual. And there's a question like, how are the projectiles brought up from the magazine? And the answer is, they are largely brought up from the magazine by rope conveyance. And then, for some reason, the next sentence is, projectiles are no longer painted, but are bare steel and treated with linseed oil.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, crazy, right? So sometimes
crazy.
People who know.
That's
Anna.
Yeah, just someone added that one little sentence.
Yeah.
Not thinking of posterity at all, and here it is, 123 years later, and it's helping you out. Amazing. That's fabulous.
Another project we're working on has nothing to do with the Navy, but we can do a follow-up on this if you wanted. So there is a chance that we have the first regimental national flag, so yes. 48-star U.S. flag. There's a chance that we might have the first one that the Army took to the European theater of operations in World War II. There's a chance. So this is not well known, not even locally, but the local National Guard unit So Baker Company, 1st Battalion 133, 34th ID, was the first unit that the Army sent to Europe in World War II. So they get off the boat at Belfast, Northern Ireland, on January 26, 1942, right after Pearl Harbor. And it's local guys. It's guys from Waterloo, guys from Cedar Falls. I think eventually during the course of that day, the entire, at least 1st Battalion gets off the transport, but it's Baker Company out of Waterloo that gets off the boat first. The 5th or 6th, he said different throughout different interviews over the next 30 years. The 5th or 6th soldier to get off the transport was Colonel Howard Jesse Rouse, who lived here in Waterloo, and he was CO of the regiment. And there's a Life magazine photo of him marching at the front of his headquarters company with, of course, the regimental colors behind him. And then he turns 55 in a couple of months, like a couple of months after. So then he's forced out of field command, ultimately retires before the end of the war, and in 1960 donates a gold braid 48 star, like regimental U.S. flag to the museum here, stating that it's the colors of the 133, right? 133rd Infantry Regiment. And if it's, I mean, gosh, right? I have all this documentation. All of it comes real close to saying that this is the flag. But he was only with the unit for a few months, right? I mean, he was with the unit for 20 years, but he was only with it for a few more months after they arrive in Ireland. This might be the flag from the Life magazine photo. It could be. I don't know. If you want to talk about that later, I will. But that's sort of my that's sort of my ongoing, very exciting sort of project that I come back to every couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
So
that's unbelievably exciting. I look forward to hearing your analysis, your evidence points that you're using to try to identify that as that particular flag. And yeah, that's a wonderful part of our job, everyone, is that we can look for evidence of an artifact in our hand if something's been out in public, or even within the collection itself, to actually verify that it is what we might think that it is, or many times we don't. But
yeah, sometimes it does feel like an exercise in confirmation bias, but I haven't found anything yet that disproves it, so we'll see.
And that's sometimes the better way of doing it, is just disproving everything until it becomes the only thing, or not. Maybe the disapproval goes 100%, but it might be you're disproving this. No, it can't be that. No, it can't be this one. Therefore, it has to be this one, right? Very interesting. Yeah, and awesome. That's great. And we should do a follow-up video with that, because I know people will be interested in that. Even though it's not Navy, people will be interested in hearing that. If that's the first infantry regimental flag, did you say?
Yeah, it's a regimental national color, right? So every regiment has 2 flags, right? The national colors and then the regimental flag, which by World War II has been standardized to the blue flag with the eagle, with the unit underneath the eagle, right? Technically, every regiment has 2 sets of colors: one that they leave at their base stateside, and one that they take on campaign with them. I guess the chaplain has his own colors, but those are a completely different size. They have a different appearance, right? But yeah, so thank you. This is though, right? It might be the first American flag brought to specifically the European theater of operations by the U.S. Army in World War II, because of course the Marines got there first. But they were also in Iceland, which is technically not part of the ETO, even though right.
Right. And that was earlier in January. Is that correct? I can't remember.
I actually think it was in. I think. Okay, gosh, this is World War II history. Okay, so I think the Marines occupied Iceland before Pearl Harbor. Hold on, Let me open a new tab in my computer machine.
Boy, that is some console.
Yeah, that happened months before Pearl Harbor. It was
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. So yeah, the Marines were already stationed there. The U.S.
Yeah.
Army comes over, lands in Belfast. That's that's the beginning of the Army's potentially involvement in the European theater, and this flag could be the first flag off the
Off the
boat.
boat. Yeah. Unless
Yeah.
the Navy brought a flag off the boat beforehand, which is why I have to be specific and say Army, don't I?
Army, yeah, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are two great things that you're. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, but those are really cool things you're working on. The BB4 and the American and regimental flag from the 133rd. And again, this is more your speed than mine. I don't know the U.S. Army that well, but the 133rd from Waterloo and Cedar Rapids.
So it's the flag is the regimental
Company B.
The 133rd Infantry Regiment, 34th Infantry Division, which covers this half of the state of Iowa, right? The 168 covers the other half of the state, and that's how that is.
That's awesome. And everyone, don't want to put Nick on the spot, but you're coming to the symposium. Is that correct?
Oh yeah.
Information, yes. So Nick and I, and maybe we'll do a joint video, and we can walk around the Sullivans and just kind of talk about things or these roundels or things like that. So more to come with Nick Erickson from Grout Museum District, Sullivan Brothers, Iowa. Here we go.
No, I got it. Look at my name. No, I got the letters. I got the acronym right by my name, right?
Yep. Sullivan Brothers, Iowa Veterans Museum, Grout Museum District.
There you go.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you for you joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this. We want to thank the family. We want to thank Robert Belak for going to their museum on Veterans Day last year. And to all of you guys for capturing, even spontaneously capturing his oral history, especially not knowing that he would have passed 4 or 5 weeks later. And we honor him and his service, and we need to keep his passion alive that he showed for the vessel and the brothers as well.
Thank you.
So thank you very much to everyone who joined us on this pretty impromptu. I know I said we're going live in 10 minutes, Nick. Let's roll. So thank you to Nick for being flexible, and thank you for checking in here. And in the link in the description, I put a link to the Grout Museum districts as a whole, and then Nick's museum specifically. So the Grout Museum district is made up of multiple museums, but then embedded in that is the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum. And so if you'd like to show support, or if you're in the Midwest, mid-plain area, whatever that's called, forgive me, I'm not trying to be glib about it, but please visit as well. And thank you so very much, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you to everyone who's checked in. Hope you enjoyed this video.